Mountain Grandma here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a salve 3 different ways, 1 with beeswax, 2 that you don't need beeswax for. And I'm doing this as part of a collaboration called Home is Where the Health Is, hosted by Not For Nothing Homestead and Megan's Fearless Adventures. Down in the description box, I'm going to share a link where you can see more videos like this that show you how to stay healthy at home. Now let's get started. Let's start with the headache salve that uses these 3 ingredients. All right, I'm going to start by filling up this little container with Vaseline. All right, now we're going to get this melted. So how I got mine melted is I turn the burner on, turn it off, and then I set it on top. And you can see it's starting to melt in there. And I'll just let this sit for a while until that's nice and melted. You can also melt it in a different container if you want. I'm doing a small batch and it's very sticky. So keep that in mind when you melt this and transfer it to another container. You can see this is nice and liquidy. And according to the recipe that I'm following, and I'll show you that book, it's 30 drops per ounce of whatever essential oil you want to put in here. For headaches, I'm going to go with peppermint. I would also go with eucalyptus, like a blend, if I had it, but I don't. So let's go ahead and count. Okay, let me stir this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put in another 30 drops. This can be used as like a headache salve, something you rub on your temples. It could also be used as like a nasal, if somebody has like a stuffy nose or something, to put directly into your nose or at the tip of your nose. All right, there it is, and we will let that sit, and that is a very easy salve to make. I'm not going to put the lid on this until it has cooled. That way you don't end up with like condensation in there. Okay, now on to the bug bite salve. This is our beeswax salve using beeswax, plantain, comfrey, and calendula infused oils. All right, so what you see here is 1 ounce of beeswax pellets, and the ratio is 1 ounce of wax to 1 cup of oil. So what you're going to see me doing next is pouring my oils into this container. I used a filter because the first oil, plantain, still has herbs in it. I never strained them off, which is fine. You can do that. So I'm pouring that in first, and then you'll see me also adding in the comfrey oil and the calendula oil. I went 2 part, 1 part, 1 part, but honestly, you can do your own blend for any other herb that you're making a salve for. This is what I'm doing for the bug bite salve. All right, now we're going to go ahead and combine these 2, and we are going to put them in a double broiler to get the wax all melted. All right, it's all melted pretty much. Here's a little tip for you. Take a metal spoon, dip it in the oil, and put that in the freezer to make sure that it's the right consistency that you want. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so took this out of the freezer. You can kind of see it's still a little bit warm, so it'll get a little more firm. That's perfect. I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it into these 2 ounce tins, and I will have 4 containers of bug bite salve. All right, now we'll let these cool. Okay, last one, our St. John's wort salve. Alrighty, right here I've got 1/3 of a cup of shortening. Crisco. You could probably, I don't know if you could use lard or not. I'm sure you could, but it just depends on how pure it is as to how long it's going to last. Now what you want to do is 1 part shortening to 1 part fresh herbs. And here's those St. John's wort leaves that I went and harvested today. What you're going to see me do next is put this in a double broiler and just keep this on warm and put it on low for like an hour after it melts. Allow the time for it to melt, and then you want to let it sit and simmer for an hour, because that will help the water from the fresh herbs to cook off. And once that has steeped long enough, or you know, had its good infusion time, you can go ahead and pour it off, strain it through. And I did just a small batch, so it's just going to be 1 little tin you see here. But that's it. This is great for any like quick salve that you need, or if you don't have all the other ingredients or a lot of time. This is just a great one to throw together. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, or if you've done any salve infusions, share down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And remember to go check out the playlist for the rest of the great videos in this collaboration. And follow along with Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead and Megan's Fearless Adventures. And thank you all so much for watching. Until I see you next time, remember everybody, keep your joy.